Namaskara. Welcome to Namaha Foundation for the Arts' annual music and dance event, Karnataka Composers Day. We started this festival 5 years ago with live performances from eminent Bay Area artists at the Shiva Vishnu Temple in Livermore. Every year since then, we have presented various Bay Area artists to much acclaim. We have had an amazing journey so far and look forward to making this festival bigger in the years to come. As mentioned, this is our 5th year anniversary, and while we are unable to present in-person programs, we still decided to celebrate through the online platform. This online format has been a boon of sorts. We are excited and honored to have eminent gurus, natyacharyas, and scholars from Karnataka and outside joining us, which might not have been possible had we done it in person. We have arranged 5 days of programming. On March 24th, 25th, and 26th, we will present conversations and lecture demonstrations with scholars and historian Dr. Vasundhara Filiosa from Paris, musicologists Dr. Meera Raja Ram Pranesh and Dr. R.S. Nandakumar, and natyacharyas and researchers Dr. Tulsi Ramachandra and Dr. Lalita Srinivasan. On the weekends, students of these gurus, along with young students of the Ushanjali School of Dance, will perform items composed by Karnataka composers, some old, some rare, some more recent, and some connected with places in Karnataka. I'm sure Kannadigas around the world will wonder why we are not conducting this event in Kannada. Well, our aim is to showcase and bring to light the rich contributions of artists in the classical traditions from Karnataka. If we want the rest of the world to learn and become aware of our amazing culture and history, we felt it should be done such that this reaches the vast majority of audiences. All programs will be streamed on Namaha Foundation for the Arts' YouTube channel. Conversations will be archived for future viewing. Performances will remain on our channel for a week, after which they will be removed. We are extremely honored to also welcome Sri Rajesh Nayak-ji, Deputy Consul General of India at San Francisco, as our chief guest, who will share his thoughts on the final day of our event. We are grateful to Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha, TVKS, for partnering with us to promote and propagate the traditional and classical arts of Karnataka. We would like to thank S-Cube TV for being our media partners. S-Cube TV will telecast all the 5 days of programming to the Indian audiences through their channel. I now welcome Sri Shantaram Gumaraju, current president of Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha, to say a few words. Sri Gumaraju is the founding member and one of the board of directors of TVKS and has served the organization in various positions since its inception. He is an IT professional in the US for the past 20 years and is working as a senior program and service delivery manager. He had a humble beginning, hailing from Gaunipalli in Karnataka. He strongly believes in not only growing ourselves, but also helping others grow with us mantra. And to this aim, his family has donated land in India to run a school and a hospital to help serve underprivileged children and poor families. In America too, he constantly looks for avenues to lend a helping hand to the community through various fundraising, volunteering, and social service programs. He has worked closely with the Indian consulate to help visiting citizens travel back home to India during the pandemic shutdown. In his free time, Sri Gumaraju loves listening to Carnatic music, playing sports, and networking with the community. Let us listen to Sri Gumaraju's words of encouragement for the Karnataka Composers Day event.
Hello, Namaste. I am Shantaram Gumaraju, President of Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha. It's my pleasure to be part of this annual celebrations of Namaha Foundation. They are celebrating their 5th year annual event by doing Karnataka Composers Day. Namaha Foundation, a non-profit organization started by Srimati Naina Shastri. Naina Shastri is our beloved friend and committed volunteer and supporter of Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha. I'm very happy to say, being the partner organization with Namaha Foundation, they are celebrating this Karnataka Composers Day. Namaha Foundation always brings our culture, literacy, poetry, and art. They are serving our community past 5+ years. And it's my pleasure to share the stage with our highly respected Deputy Consulate General, Sri Rajesh Naik. Rajesh Naik has served our entire West Coast region and Bay Area during this COVID pandemic. And it's our pleasure to work with him to help our community. And Naina Shastri was also part of this community, serving the people during this COVID pandemic time. Friends, if the situation was different, this event could have been celebrated in our Livermore Temple. Unfortunately, due to this pandemic, we are doing this virtual event. From bottom of my heart, I wish Namaha Foundation grand success and to do this more and more event in future. Thank you so much. Tri-Valley Kannada Sangha always like to support Namaha Foundations and similar organizations. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best, Naina.
Thank you, Shantaramji, for your kind words and encouragement. We always look forward to the support and encouragement from TVKS for such events. I would now like to introduce the first scholar of our festival. We begin our event with a conversation with eminent scholar, musician, musicologist, and researcher, Dr. Meera Rajaram Pranesh. Dr. Pranesh comes with many years of experience and a very illustrious career in music and research. She is the managing trustee of Vanamala Center for Art and Culture, an adjunct professor of music in the Department of Performing Arts, Jain University, and a counsel for degree and master's program in music at the Lakshmi Narayana Global Center for Excellence, started by world-renowned violinist Dr. L. Subramaniam in collaboration with Jain University. Dr. Pranesh began her musical journey with the veena under the tutelage of Vidwan L. Sheshagiri Rao, and then pursued the Carnatic vocal music under the tutelage of Vidushis Sudha Vimurthy and Rohini Manjunath. She received her postgraduate degree in Carnatic music from Bangalore University and was awarded the gold medal for that. She completed her MPhil and PhD programs from the same university. For her PhD on the musical composers during the Wadeyar dynasty, 1638 to 1947 AD, she was guided by many stalwart gurus and vidwans like Belkavari Srinivas Iyengar, Sri B.V.K. Shastri, and many others. An active performer and keen researcher, she has given innumerable lecture demonstrations, conceptualized unique musical compositions, authored multiple books, and has also presented her work on film. She has served as an expert in various organizations and for different boards and commissions. We are extremely honored to have her join us for this event. Now, let us listen to what she has to say about some of the lesser known composers of the Mysore dynasty under the Wadeyar rule. Presenting Dr. Meera Rajaram Pranesh.
So, namaste, ma'am. This is Dr. Meera Rajaram Pranesh.
Namaste.
Namaste. Welcome to Namaha Foundation for the Arts Karnataka Composers Day program. And we're very excited to have you. I'm very happy, ma'am, that you agreed to come on to our organization's event, and we look forward to our conversation. Very interesting topic we have picked, I think, and I hope that people will enjoy listening to this discourse from you. So without any more delay, I would like to get into the conversation. So, ma'am, I wanted to start off asking you, from a little bit of history. So when we talk about Karnataka, what is our classical traditions in terms of music? Because we always see, other states seem to have a lot of, um, events and a lot of promotion of Carnatic music. But when we come to Karnataka, the only things, most of the times that comes, at least for dancers, is Purandara Dasa and Dasa Sahitya. So can you please shine light on our Karnataka, history of music and Carnatic music, classical music?
First of all, I would like to thank you for inviting me for this webinar. And this, when we talk about Karnataka, the very first thing, I would like to mention that what you're talking about, the history, at that point of time, this was Mysore.
Mm.
Okay, because this region was Mysore, and when the Vijayanagar rulers were ruling, the whole of the southern region, wherever they ruled, that area was called Karnataka.
Okay.
So whatever music that prevailed in this whole region, it can be Tanjavur, Mysore region, and the below. So all those things was called Karnataka Sangeeta.
Okay.
Okay, so it is not, so this name Karnataka came in the later period for the Mysore. But till when we had the Wadiyars, and before that also, this was a Mysore province.
Okay.
So, if at all we go backwards, I would like to use the term Mysore here.
Okay.
Because Karnataka means, again, there will be a confusion.
Okay.
Okay, so this Mysore region, actually, even that, of course, before it was the Vijayanagar, wherein, earlier also we had many Chalukyas, all those people, they had ruled, and then a lot of patronage was given to art, actually, art and culture. It was a part of everything.
Correct.
India is something wherein, it is very divine.
Correct.
And we have always looked upon our art forms as a divine form.
Correct.
Whether it is music, whether it is dance, whether it is sculptures, whether it is paintings or anything.
Right.
So both, performing arts and the visual arts, everything is looked upon divine.
Right. Yeah.
So then who were the ones who, who patronized the art and then who preserved it for us? It was the rulers throughout, the kings.
Correct.
If at all they had not patronized, if at all they had not encouraged, I don't think we could have preserved the art forms today.
Right, right. That's
all
true.
over India.
Correct.
I mean, maybe in other countries also, but I would like to, stick on to our Indian this one. So they played a major role in preserving the art forms, patronizing, preserving for the posterity.
Right.
Okay. So here again, we can also look upon, like, not only they patronized our art forms by, encouraging the artists, becoming their court scholars.
Right, right.
Musicians, dancers, everyone.
Correct.
Okay. Apart from that also, indirectly also they contributed by building temples. And then in the temples, they encouraged our artists to perform.
Give them an opportunity and platform.
Yes, platform. And in some places, like Tanjavur and all, even the Devadasis were patronized by the rulers. There is a this one that there were 400 Devadasis in Tanjavur Brihadishwara temple. Wow. They were patronized by the king, and the rulers made them learn music, dance, and Sanskrit.
Right. Yeah.
See, this is an indirect way of, patronizing the art forms.
Keeping it alive and
keeping it alive and giving it to us.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So now, like that, it happened, and then when the Vijayanagar rulers, they started, that this dynasty got deteriorated, or it declined. At that point of time, other this one, they came up. That is one side Wadiyars.
Right.
in Mysore.
Mysore,
Then Tanjavur, there was the Nayakas and the Marathas who
Right.
came up there.
Right.
So everything, it came from actually many scholars, they moved towards Mysore and towards Tanjavur
Tanjavur. Okay.
from Vijayanagar.
Right. Uh-huh.
So that is how we have this rich culture, and many things we have followed that particular thing which, during the Vijayanagar dynasty, maybe Krishna Devaraya and others who laid some foundation towards these art forms, it continued here. And this music came to be called Karnataka Sangeeta because it is an older name actually. That is Dakshinatya Sangeeta, Uttareya Sangeeta.
Correct.
When this Karnataka, the Hindustani, all those things came in the later period. These names. So Karnataka Sangeeta, so that is why, we just came. It is not what we have the Karnataka name, and then, people sometimes fight for that. There are so many arguments, all those things. No.
Okay.
It is Karnataka Shastriya Sangeeta because it prevailed in the whole of southern region.
Right.
Okay. So here, let me just only stick on to the Mysore
lineage. Yeah.
Mysore lineage.
Yes.
Here also, according to the history, it was, it was started during 1399, Mysore dynasty. It began by Yaduraya, and then it was Vadeya. Vadeya means leader or something like master in Kannada.
Correct.
So Vadeya, that later became Vadeyar.
Okay.
So there are a lot of different, this one, they came from northern region, and these people, the Vadeyars, they fall and they come under the lineage of Lord Krishna.
So Vaishnava.
All those stories, that is Yadavas. So, Chandravamsha.
Correct.
So like that, there are a lot of histories from there. And then from Yaduraya, 1399, up to 1947, if at all we see, that is the independence.
Right.
And afterwards also, Jaichamraja Vadiyar was there.
Correct.
So, but he was the last king, I can say.
Official king
right. was Jaichamraja Vadiyar.
Yeah.
So from there till here, you have 25 rulers.
Okay.
These 25 rulers, most of them, they were artists by themselves, or they patronized the art forms. So it was like that, it just came.
Right.
That is why, Mysore is a very rich heritage center.
Correct.
Both music and dance.
Correct.
And also other forms. Painting.
You
have the Mysore traditional paintings itself.
Yeah.
Everything is famous. So even the sculptures over here in this region, the whole, Mysore means I'm talking the whole region.
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
The whole state at
the time when they were ruling.
Yes. At the state. So it was a little province, then later on it just got expanded, and now what we have, the map and everything. So that region was called Mysore state. So after this Yaduraya, there were some more kings. And then if at all we want to record the music and dance, and in the middle I will also talk about the dance also.
Sure, definitely.
Because, because it just goes hand in hand. I can't just concentrate on that. So it was Raja Vadiyar, a very important, he ruled around between 1552 to 1670, but he was a very important king. I think you are aware, and he was also a great devotee of Lord Vishnu and the Chanakya, Melakote.
Yes.
Chelvaraya Swami. So he was a great devotee, and then I think you may be knowing about that story, Malangi Maduvagi,
Yes.
Talakadu Maralagi,
Talakadu Maralagi, yes.
right?
Yes.
So that was that king actually, Rajavadiyar.
Okay. Rajavadiyar.
For him only, he got that
curse.
That curse from
Curse.
Malamelu. So that is still, there are many controversies there. Again,
Correct.
let us not go deeper into
It
those
is
things.
a
But
sort of a mythology fiction.
yes,
Still
yes,
exists.
yes.
Yes.
But somehow that is continuing.
Correct,
I don't know
yeah.
how it is, but it is continuing.
Correct.
So that Rajavadiyar was responsible for this Dasara festival in
Oh, I see. It was in his
Mysore.
time.
Yes. See, because at that time even Vijayanagar was there.
Huh. Not
But
very
it was deteriorating.
Huh.
Here, these people, they came up, and then, that that festival, it used to be like, it was with great grandeur and pomp in Vijayanagar, during Vijayanagar rulers.
Okay.
So here also Rajavadiyar starts that particular festival.
Okay.
And in fact, I have a lithograph. This particular lithograph, here you can see how during Rajavadiyar's period, all the music, dance, and instrumentalists, wrestling, everything used to happen.
Correct.
So that was during Dasara.
Okay.
So the same thing continued in the later period also, and all the Vadiyars after that, they strictly adhered to this particular system.
Right.
And even to this day, Mysore Dasara means it is world famous.
It's a ritual also.
It is a ritual.
They go to temple and
yes.
all that. Yeah.
Yes, it is a ritual.
Yes.
But it is also like, the art and culture. That is, all the art forms were given lot of importance during that period.
They have like a Margadi season. For us, Dasara is that
Dasara
time.
is very, yes.
Everywhere there's music kacheris, dance programs.
Correct. So I think, I will try to share that. Okay. See, you can actually see, this is called a lithograph. It's a sketch.
Correct.
Very old one, which I happened to get it from Palace Archives.
Okay.
And then I reshot this particular picture.
Sure.
It's a very old lithograph. Here you can see Rajavadiyar, and you can just notice how musicians were there. Everything in one picture.
Yes.
You see dancers here.
Right.
And then also these, the fights here.
Tagaru.
All those things,
Yes.
So beautifully it has been picturized in one particular slide, so that you can just have an idea. Yes. So how Dasara festival was there during Rajavadiyar's period. Moving on, so from there we can just have, so even the dance was a very prominent activity. And also, we had many rulers. I'll just mention few of them whose period was a very, conspicuous. And we have got the records. Others also we get, but not so much. And the next very prominent contributor to the art and culture was Ranadhira Kantirava Narasa Rajavadiyar.
Yes.
I think everybody would have learned, familiar with his name. There was a Kannada movie on that particular king. He was a great warrior.
Yes.
I think it was Dr. Rajkumar who had acted, and it was, if I remember well, it was G.V. Iyer's movie.
Okay.
So, the Ranadhira Kantirava Narasaraja Vadiyar, maybe he was also a great musician. That is why he had got the title Sangeeta Sahitya Shastra Visharada.
Oh my God, everything.
Everything.
Shastra.
And yes. In fact, one of his courtiers and a great scholar by the name Tirumalarya, he had written one book, Kantirava Narasaraja Vadiyar.
Okay.
So it's a Kantirva Narasaraja Vijaya.
Ha 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 ha.
Okay. So this Kantirva Narasaraja Vijaya's period is again 17th century.
Okay.
He was there from 1615 to 1659. During those days, the capital of Mysore was Srirangapatana.
Ha.
Okay. And it was this particular Kantirava Narasara in Javadiya. He encouraged art forms so much
Ha.
that he had built separate streets for artists.
Oh wow. Okay.
The group of artists.
Ha.
That is, one group, one street had dancers, one street had musicians, one street had, that is the musicians means vocalists, and one street had only Vainikas.
Oh my God. Okay.
One street had this one, percussionists, and vidushakas, that is comedians.
Okay. Huh.
And also these brahmanas, that is the, Paurahityas or scholars. So it was like, he had given separate streets for them.
Wow.
That was the grandeur. I mean, if at all, many a times, when I go to Srirangapatana, I feel, oh, how lovely it might have been.
Must have been, I know.
And, somebody walking inside, in that street, oh my God, what nada they would be hearing
Experiencing
with these artists, right? So,
right.
that was how he had
Encouraged.
he encouraged, yes. And also, even in his court, during that time, Ramayana, Bhagavata, Mahabharata, all those things were sung.
I see. Okay.
In different ragas.
Ah.
All those ragas has been mentioned in that Kantirva Narasaraja Vijaya.
I see. Okay. So
In
that's
fact,
a biography kind of a thing or a poem?
No, it is it is like a poem.
Ah, okay. Huh.
But there are four lines.
Acha. Huh.
Okay. So that is how he goes. In fact, my research was on Mysore Vadiyars.
Okay. Yes.
My PhD.
Yes.
Okay. And this is the book, Musical Composers during Wadiyar Dynasty. This I have taken up from 1638 to 1947 as the main code, because we can document some of the things only from 1638. We get the documents in a proper way. So, and also, there I have mentioned some of the references from Kantirava Narasaraja Vijaya. That is the document we get actually.
Okay.
What were the ragas which were, and early morning, if at all the king had to get up, they used to, sing, play different instruments, and then like Suprabhata.
Right.
Okay. And also, there is a reference that there were ladies in his court who sang for them.
That was a question that one of my artist friend here, Shrimati Anu Dwarakanath, she sent me a question. She said, can you ask, because we all hear about all these male singers and male musicians and composers, were there any female artists in these courts? And, so here is the answer now.
Yes. Yes. So during that time itself, but we don't get the mention who were the ladies.
Ah, okay. Is it because
I don't know. Even the mention there, some of them, Bharati Nanja, like that, you get.
Achha.
But they were all male. But he says that the ladies were singing these Ramayana, Bhagavata, Bharata and all for the king and the other courtiers.
I see.
Whether it were Devadasis, that mention is not there.
Not there. Okay.
And then there is also one more reference here. They were singing Gitas and Prabandhas in Suladi Saptatalas.
Yes.
And musical instruments were played for Gite and Alapa, sung with ideal Shrutis, accompanied with dancers.
Oh, okay. So it all
this is one, because I wanted to, bring upon this Also because
Because
yours is a dance
and-
school, and then, yeah.
Ah,
So when it is mentioned as dancers, then it should be Devadasis. Because during that time,
right, right.
others did not,
Were
attend
not, yeah,
were not,
forming the.
they were learning. In fact, ladies had to learn music.
Correct. Music was, but what about dance? Was it still
Yes.
not
I
so
don't think, common one were
from women were learning dance?
learning dance.
But music,
But yeah,
Veena and vocal, everybody.
everything was there. But
Yeah.
it used to be within the four walls.
Okay, okay. No performances or anything.
No performances. No performances were there. So it was only in the later period. So even this period, but all he says that Kantirva Narsaraja Vajayar encouraged these people dancing for all these Gita, Prabandhas, all those things.
Correct, yes.
So early 17th century, we get these references. When I talk about Kantirava Narasaraja Vadiyar, that is the next one. This was Ranadira Kantirava.
Ranadira, yeah.
And his grandson, Kantirava Narasaraja Vadiyar, we get some names there.
I see.
But we don't know whether, because he writes dramas on those dancers.
Oh, okay.
And then here Pavaki Natakamu. So like that, So Pavaki was a dancer in the court. That is what, as per that records we get. And also, some of the records we have lost because there was a fire in
correct.
Mysore Palace.
Correct.
So we have lost. Yes. So whatever records we get from the palace archives today, it is from 1900. And then the next ruler was his son, Chikadevaraja Vadiyar, who was a great artist by himself. He was a very good Vainika. But Tirumalarya, sorry, did I mention Tirumalarya for Ranadira Kantirava?
Yes,
Kantirava Nasa? Sorry, that was Govinda Vaidya.
Govinda Vaidya. Okay.
I'm sorry. So Govinda Vaidya was the author of
Vijaya,
Kantirava Narasaraja Vijaya. And Tirumalarya was the author of Chikkadevaraja Vijaya. I just got confused. Okay. The names. Okay. Sure. So from this Chikkadevaraja Vijaya, we get a lot of references about Chikkadevaraja Vadiyar and how his ruling period was. All those things we will get. Of course, in the Gazetteer and the Mysuru Vamshavali and all those things, we get the informations. But here, we can see how the art and culture flourished during that period from this particular book. So here, he mentions that, how Chikkadevaraja Vadiyar was such an excellent Veena player that every day he used to sit in the Saundarya Vilasa Sabhangana and he used to entertain his courtiers by playing Veena. And if at all he used to play the Veena, the nada was so melodious that it used to be like nada emitting from the toe rings of Saraswati when she walks. That is the comparison, he gives. And one more interesting thing there is, he also, he was, as I said, he was a Vagyakara, he was a Rachanakara, he was a composer by himself. Not only he wrote some padas, he also wrote a Geya Prabandha. That is something like an opera. That is Gita Gopala. So Gita Gopala on the was written on the lines of Gita Govinda of Jayadeva.
Okay.
But Gita Govinda of Jayadeva is in Sanskrit.
Right.
And the main central characters are Radha and Krishna there.
Right.
But Chikkadevaraja Vadiyar, he writes the whole work in Kannada.
Okay.
It is in two parts, Prathama and then Dvitiya. And there are many Saptapadis there. It's not the Ashtapadis. And then there are the whole thing is in Kannada. And the central characters are Krishna and Gopikas. Okay, it's a beautiful work. There, in his quote, we come across Sanchi Honnamma there.
Ah, okay.
Okay, a lady, Sanchi Honnamma, who writes Hadibadeya Dharma.
Okay.
That is the Sangatya form. Sangatya was also a form wherein, you know, it is rendered musically, but not like this classical music. It was like, you know, sometimes we just chant some of the shlokas and then we do some puja. So like that, you know, it is 4 lines and it would be rendered like that. So it is like a musical one itself. So here, this Hadipadiya Dharma, actually, you know, she loses, I mean, why I am telling this is how the rulers encouraged even a common person there.
Right.
She would have lost her parents at a young age.
Okay.
She did not have anyone. And then at that point of time, one of the queens of Chikadevaraja Vadiyar, she brings her to, you know, under her
care and
shelter. And then she will encourage her, she and even Chikadevaraja Vadiyar, they encourage her to write because I think they saw that artistic approach in her. Maybe.
Correct.
So they encouraged her to write. And then she writes this Hadipadeya Dharma, wherein she highlights a woman, the roles of a woman.
Okay.
See, a woman, how she will, you know, she will balance so many relationships.
Correct.
As a daughter, as a sister, as a mother, as a wife.
Correct.
Right? As a sister, as a sister-in-law.
Yes.
So many things. Correct. So many, you know, that balancing was there. And they encouraged it. So that was one reference we get as a woman. And there is also this one that she was also attending the court. Okay. So that was one major thing, Sanchi Honnamma. And there were others who were also composers and musicians, Chidananda, Ranganarayana, and one more was Shringarama.
Okay.
Shringarama also you get the references there.
I see.
During his period. Because since you wanted to know more about less known, so I thought, let me concentrate in this particular, discussion. Let me concentrate more upon lesser known
composers.
And then, moving on, his own son, Kantirva Narasaraja Vadiyar. He was also called Mukarasu. They say that he was not able to speak and everything, but he was a great artist, and but he was a scholar, and then he had wrote a lot of yakshaganas. Why I'm mentioning yakshagana here is yakshagana is a form wherein music is prominent, and this Mysore area, yakshaganas was also prominent. Most of our rulers had composed yakshagana.
Oh, wow.
They had written. Yes. Yakshagana was there. And this Kantirva Narasaraja Vadiyar, he was the first person to bring both music, dance and drama in yakshagana. Earlier, these yakshaganas were only sung, ladies used to sing these yakshaganas.
Oh, wow.
They used to sit in front of the house and then their own house. They would just sing. But it was during this period, and there is also a reference that Kantirva Narasaraja Vadiyar was the first person to bring all the three, that is Sangeeta, Nataka and Natya. That is one major contribution we come across during this period. And he also authored some Koravanji Katles. These Koravanji Katles are, Yakshaganas type itself. So there are around 14 Koravanji Katles which was composed by Narasaraja Vadiyar. Yes. Yes. So, and also we come across that is under this Koravanji Katle, we have this Panchayuda Katle, Lakshmi Vilasamu, all those things.
Like Katle is like a dance drama kind of thing?
Yes, Yakshagana and dramas.
Okay.
So you can also bring these art forms also there. So music, Natya, everything will be there.
Right. So the Koravanji Katle was also like that?
Yes, part of that. Like, yes. Yeah, true. And then, so like that, we had these Vasantotsava Vilasamu, Natya Vidya Vilasamu, Vibhakti Kanta Vilasamu, Ashtadikpalaka Vilasamu, like that.
Wow.
So there were many works during that.
Right.
Less known people doesn't know about these things.
Correct.
Right. And then this is what I said, that he had dancers in his court, and he writes dramas on these dances. Dramas means there were music. Why I'm mentioning dramas here is dramas means music was a part of the dramas.
Got it. Okay.
Earlier, without drama, without music, drama did not. Even today, without music, drama doesn't exist.
Correct. You have to have some
there may not, there may not be dialogues.
Correct, but background.
Movie or anything. The music has to be there. Here, So, earlier, it used to be classical music in the dramas. And many musicians turned out to be dramatists earlier. And they had to sing on the stage. It was not like background music, somebody else singing for someone. Yes, who was acting on the stage had to sing.
Like a Western opera sort of.
Yes, they had to sing there itself. And people used to come to listen to these music pieces.
Performances,
And it used to be for everything. There used to be, even now, you can see some old movies wherein, for every small thing there is a song there.
Yes, that's right.
Even the dialogues have the songs there.
Yeah.
It is in Raga Malikas and all those things, right? So earlier it used to be there, and we come across some references that people used to say once more there for everything, and they had to sing. So sometimes before dying, an artist would sing and die.
Okay.
Paramashivan sir used to tell, he's a great musician, dramatist, everything. Now he is no more. And he was the last link for that yesterday's dramas and the present day. So, he used to say, and many a times, that person would have died there, but these people would shout once more for that song. He would get up, sing, and then he would die again. Like that, it used to be 4 to 5 times
Oh my
on
God.
the stage. So music was such a part of that. And then here also, it was like, Kantirva Raja, he wrote these small dramas on each of his dancers.
Okay.
The dancers who were in his court, and to exhibit their art. Okay. And then these are all in Telugu. Okay. And of course, mention of raga, tadas are all there. And the theme here is, it is an examination, like how Indira's had apsaras in his sabha. He had so many dancers in his sabha, and how well they all dance.
Each one is.
So, yes. And then each drama was named on that particular dancer.
Okay.
So, for example, it was Pavaki Natakamu, Vaivaswati Natakamu, Nairati Natakamu, Varuni Natakamu, Vayavi Natakamu, Kauberi Natakamu. Here, we also come across a royal composer, women, the first women composer in the royal family. Okay. It was Cheluvambe, who was the wife of Krishnaraj Vadiyar, the one.
Okay.
Okay. So, this Cheluvambe, she was one of the, during those days, they had Ashtamahishis. That is 8 wives.
Correct.
Right? She was one of the Ashtamahishis. And then she was a very good composer. She had composed these Lali Padas, Venkatesha Mahatmya Lali Padas, and so many other Lali Padas, everything. She had composed, and she used to sing, I believe. So she was the first female royal composer, we can say. And one more work here she writes, that is Varanandi Kalyana.
Okay.
It's a very interesting work, wherein she talks about a lady called Varanandi.
Okay.
Who happened to be the daughter of Badshah of Delhi.
Oh my, okay.
Okay, so the story goes there like that. Okay, she was the daughter, and then she loves Cheluvaraya Swami.
Okay.
Our Melukote, Cheluvarayana, and then she wants to marry him.
Okay.
And she comes and marries. So that's the story part they take. There she mentions that though she is a Muslim, daughter of a Muslim ruler, in her previous, some way before, she was Satyabhama.
Oh, okay.
So Satyabhama, so that is why she wanted to come and marry. She reincarnated as Varanandi, and then she wanted to marry Chelvana.
So how did she get the connection with this Delhi princess and?
Yeah, actually, there is that story part, so it beautifully goes. In fact, I have, yes, in detail, I have written in my book also.
Okay.
So that's how, it just so on.
Nice.
Very interesting.
Yeah, connections from.
Connection. How creative they were.
Correct.
And how they were also encouraged. Also, she writes some Mangalarati Padas while doing. So all those things you get. So there are references of all those things. And then we have another one is, Krishnaraj Vadiyar 2. Second Krishnaraj Vadiyar. This is early 18th century.
Okay.
1728 to 1766, wherein we come to know we get the reference of Kalale Nanjaraja. I think you might have heard about Geeta Gangadhara.
Correct. Yes.
Geeta Gangadhara. So this Kalale Nanjaraja was a Dalawai. And then he, like, you know, maker of the kings actually, or maybe, you know, how to build up these people. And then
sort of,
he was, politically, he had not, you know, he had not earned a good name.
Acha, okay.
But scholarship wise, because they used to say Karachuri Nanjarajaya,
Okay.
a backstabber, like
Correct,
all
correct,
those
correct.
things, you know. So politically, he was not,
Not very well.
well, I mean, yeah. So, but he was a great scholar, and then he was a Shiva Bhakta,
Okay.
and he stayed in Kalale. In fact, very recently, we happened to bring out this book, Geeta Gangadhara. Okay? This is this Geeta Gangadhara. Actually, at that point when we brought up, because I had the manuscripts, my Guru, Sri B.V.K. Shastri had given me the manuscript. He had written everything in Kannada. This is a Sanskrit work, but he had written it in Kannada. And then he had given me that for my research work. And then I thought, let me bring it out at least now in his name itself. And so that, you know, people can take. So, but what we have done is, we have brought it out in English, Kannada, and Devanagari scripts.
Wow, nice. That would be nice.
With the summary of every song, every shloka. So that it can be enacted as a Geya Prabandha.
Correct.
It's a beautiful work, again on the lines of Geeta Govinda itself.
I see.
Okay, so we come across Ashtapadis here.
Okay.
The
Same
format of Ashtapadis, because I told Geeta Gopala was written in Saptapadis. The format was Saptapadi.
Yes.
And his courtier, that is Tirumalarya, who wrote Chikkadevaraja Vijaya, he also wrote a Geya Prabandha. Chikkadevaraja Saptapadi, on his own king.
On his own king.
So how he was. So that also has Saptapadis, and it is also again like an opera.
Correct.
Okay, here also, this also we come across this Geeta Gangadhara. But here, and this is in Sanskrit.
Okay.
And as I said earlier, he was a great devotee of Shiva.
Right.
And this Kalale is, I think, 4 kilometers or 5 kilometers from Nanjangud.
Okay.
And in fact, I visited, and then his house, like, you know, he used to run a parallel court in Kalale.
Oh, okay.
His scholars.
His,
yes,
scholars.
his scholars. He was a great scholar. So he had, you know, many Sanskrit scholars, musicians, everyone, you know, in his and he was the one who built those steps for Kapila River in Nanjangud.
Yeah, I see. Okay.
And also with that 63 Shaivates, if at all you have seen Nanjangud, or when you go next time, you please observe that. You come across the idols of 63 Shaivates there around the temple, that is inside, around the Garbhagriha.
Correct.
So that was built by Kalale Nanjaraja.
Okay.
So coming to his work, Geeta Gangadhara, unlike Jayadeva's Geeta Govinda and Chikkadevaraja Vadaya's Geeta Gopala, which is a Nanjaraja, it takes up Shiva and Parvati as hero and heroine. That's the beautiful part there. And then here, briefly, if I want, I'll just give the storyline, because it's a very interesting thing.
Right.
It is like Shiva, he goes for alms to the hermit, Darukavana.
Right.
And then there will be Rishis trees, or the ladies of the
Rishis.
Rishis. It's not like only the wives. There may be other ladies also. So I'm, you know, it is like Rishis trees, the ladies of Rishis. And then he goes for alms, and then those and Shiva, as per the Puranic one, he's a very handsome, very well built, and a very handsome personality. And these ladies, you know, they fall in love with Shiva.
Okay.
And Shiva reciprocates that love.
Okay.
And he stays with them there, and then, you know, he reciprocates. So there is always, in these operas or the Geya Prabandhas, there is always a in between a Sakhi or a Sakha who normally, takes from here till there, the news from hero to heroine. Okay, so like that, there was a Sakhi there who takes these informations to Parvati, who was on the other banks of Kapila. Because since he is from that area, he takes up Kapila.
Okay, correct.
Adi. Jayadeva had taken up Yamuna, and he takes Kapila. So he goes and tells there, she goes and tells there, and from there she brings them, and Parvati will be very angry.
Yeah.
So like that, there'll be exchange of some of the conversations through music, through shlokas, all those things. And then in the end, Shiva, she says that Shiva has to come there.
Okay.
The Duti will tell, and then Shiva goes back to Parvati. And, he by that time she would have gone to that Kopagruha.
Yes.
Like, she'll be angry. She would have removed all her, jewelry and then left her hairs, and, her dress will have been, it's like, yeah. So like that. And then, beautifully he, Nanjaraja brings that how he will pacify her.
Okay.
And then in the end, he starts, dressing her up with all those ornaments, and he will dress her,
make up,
put her everything back. So that is the ending. So that is how he pacifies her.
Wow.
So normally, the Duti in the middle in the Geya Prabandhas, Duti or a Vidushaka or a Sakha or a Sakhi, it always, it conveys that it is a Guru. Because this romantic, whether it is Radha Krishna or Gopikas and Krishna or Shiva or Parvati, something when we take up, it is the Milana or the union of Jivatma and Paramatma. That is the ultimate philosophy we come across. And the role of the Sakhi or the Duti in the middle will be the role, played by the Guru in our lives.
Okay.
It's Guru who takes us. So philosophically, our works are beautifully taken up.
Yes.
It is something, it's not even the romance, if at all they show, that Shrungara, what they show, that is also again divine for us. Like that is why Padas and everything, it's such a divine one. Of course, after this period, there was a, what we can say, there was a decline even here during the period of Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan for some years. And then it started again from Mummadi Krishnaraja Vadiyar's period. That is again, from 18th century. Of course, from there, you get even the reference notations also. Till here, you get the references of the Raga, Tala, all those things you get.
Right.
But with the notations and everything, you are going to get only from this period.
Kannada was not considered as a very poetic language, so a lot of it was in Telugu. So but then I see that there are a lot of compositions in Kannada. I mean, the kings and Vadiyars themselves have done it. But why is it then that it did not why is it still considered that Telugu was the language of the...
See, the thing was, the influence of the Vijayanagar was the first thing. Because during that time, Telugu was also there. Though we come across Haridasas.
Right, yes. Yeah.
Okay, Haridasas were there, and many of them, so Vyasaraya, from there itself we come across, who were there in the Vijayanagar, we come across many Kannada, and they composed in Kannada itself.
Kannada, yeah.
But what happened was, post, that is, from Mummadi Krishnaraja Vadiyar, there was also the influence of Trinity, that especially Tyagaraja, from this part, Tamil Nadu part, the Tanjavur area, that area. So from the beginning, this Telugu became mainly, you know, that Vijayanagar and the Nayakas were there, and then so all of them wrote in Telugu itself. You come across many